Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to talk to you today about implementing the IDEO Design Thinking model in the classroom, specifically for English and helping to write essays, but you can certainly use it for any subject. I found design thinking just in planning for anything in general makes things easier and a lot more structured, and I think it can certainly help a lot of students out there. So there are 5 stages. To understand and observe what you need to do, which initially would be reading and thinking about the text. Idea generation, synthesizing your ideas about the themes and characters. Then visualizing, your actual planning of the essay. Your prototype, which is your draft of the essay. And implementation, which is hand in. I've also put some creative and critical thinking routines within this IDEO design thinking, just to make things a bit more helpful and to hopefully allow the students to really take ownership of their own learning. Okay, so initially we need to understand and observe. So this is a compass points thinking routine that I would start with. I'll go on to that in the next slide, which basically involves thinking about the text even before you read the text. So just wondering what's going on, reading the text itself, and taking down notes whilst you're reading the text. And I would certainly suggest reading the whole text through initially by yourself and just enjoying the text, and then going through it again, and once you get to the end of each chapter, taking notes on the main themes or ideas and what the characters are up to. Now, in terms of a thinking routine, compass points is great. Basically, the idea is that every student gets at least 4 little post-its, and in each corner of the room there is a large piece of paper, one with E, one with W, one with N, and one with S. So E is what excites you, and the student gets to write down what they're excited about in terms of the novel or the text they've studied. W is what they're worried about. Maybe they can share that they're not confident with essay skills, or they're not good at using quotes. N, need to know, what they think they need to know or get out of the text. And stance or suggestion moving forward, what they need to to really improve in that. So I think that's a really good fun one to use. It gets the students thinking about the text and involved in the text, and gets them moving around the room and really starting to talk. Now, the second point, idea and generation. So once they've read the text and understand the text, they need to synthesize their ideas. I would use the Thinkpairshare idea, which is basically you pose the question, so a question about the novel. Each student gets to take a few minutes of thinking time. Once they've written down all of the ideas that they come up with, they turn to the person next to them and share that with them, and basically synthesize both sets of ideas, and then they share their thoughts with the class. So you actually get the class involved and thinking and talking about the text. It's a really good way to generate ideas. Now, the third point is to visualize. Once you have the essay question that is then being asked, you can put together all of the knowledge and quotes that they've been discussing in class, and they need to plan their essay. I would ask the class or the students to come up with their own thesis idea to answer the question, and then to write down what their main body paragraph point would be, and what their evidence would be. And the last point is they need to make sure that there are clear connections between each point, and they can really visualize that they are specifically answering the question with the evidence that they're using, and that it makes a coherent sense. Prototype. Basically, prototype is your first draft. So you should be trying to put all these ideas down, certainly read through it yourself, but also ask peers, parents, teachers, and get all the feedback you can from them, and then go back and refine your essay. Rewrite your essay with any suggestions, evaluate where you think it is, and then you'd have a look at the marking guide. So we would be having a look, ladies and gentlemen, at one I prepared earlier. This is the kind of thing I would give my class. Just a blank thing to make sure that they have all the information that they need to have for their essay, and they just check it off to make sure they have everything, and it really does make things a lot easier for peer marking or even people's parents having a look at it. And the last point, ladies and gentlemen, is implementation. They just need to hand it in, but the most important thing is once they get their marked essay or work back from the teacher, and it's one thing that students mainly miss out on, is make sure you take in that feedback and refine that feedback. Thank you.